This is the Park Shore Coin and Collectibles Hour with your host, Scott Heiligman, on Fox Sports Radio. Today we will discuss all the latest information and hottest trends on everything from coins and sterling silver to baseball cards, vintage toys, and a whole lot more. Find information about the show at www.parkshorecoin.com. That's www.parkshorecoin.com. And now, your host, Scott Heiligman.
Well, it's another fantastic Saturday in Southwest Florida, and you're listening to the Park Shore Coin and Collectibles Hour with our host, Scott Heiligman. He's owner of Park Shore Coins and Collectibles. Hi, Scott.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Happy Saturday.
Great to be back.
We're in paradise.
Here we are.
And if it's Saturday, it's Park Shore Coin and Collectibles Hour.
That's right.
A lot of people make us part of their Saturday before they get out and hit those golf balls. Before it gets hot in the day.
Yeah.
They want to learn
get their exercise in. I've been doing that in the morning, too. I got to get it out of the way.
Yeah. And they want to learn about collectibles.
Sure.
And you know what? We're getting more and more people that reach out to us and say, well, what are you going to talk about next week?
I know.
Or what are you going to talk about? You talked
pressure's on.
about something like that. When are you going to talk about or take my call? Or did you look at my text? Or did you look at my email?
It's
When are you
wild,
going to
isn't it?
respond to that? It's like, huh? And we sat down in the studio a few minutes ago, and Scott's phone rings off the wall, I have to tell you. A very popular guy. And they're calling saying, hey, can I come by tomorrow? Can I come by on Friday or Wednesday? And here's what I've got. And
Take a look. It's a moving market. Yeah, that's what I do. I have all the time in the world for your time. You know?
Time, yeah.
You know, your items are valuable to you and your time's valuable. Bring it in. I'll be happy to look at it and show you what you have and make an offer on it.
And in the world
That's
of
what I
collectibles.
do. Make a good offer, strong offer. I don't
Sure.
just make offers. I make offers that make you want to leave 5-star reviews and tell your friends, you know.
Yeah.
We try to really hit it out of the park on that.
Yeah.
And it's not always so easy. It takes some time and research, but that's what we do. And that's the main objective is to get the most money for your items on the retail end when we resell them. And that entail pays you a little bit more. And then just to let you know what you have too, bring it on in. Here's what you have.
And if you want to bring
Get
it
an
in,
estimate.
his office is over off of
Yeah, right
Road.
off 75 in Immokalee. You can't miss it. Park Shore Coin and Collectibles. Big 2-story building.
Right.
Can't miss it right there
So
in the corner.
If you're within the sound of our voice, you can get there.
Yep.
Doesn't take long. Drive by, visit Scott, call him on his phone, 239-961-0816.
That's right.
Or visit the website and look at those testimonials.
ParkshoreCoin.com or just text. Yeah.
Yeah.
Testimonials are great. Yeah.
Testimonials on
Happy
the website.
customers. We're building a nice little customer base here. Some great feedback. As a matter of fact, it's turned into now I have to open up an auction house to get rid of some of these items,
Yeah.
you know, that I normally couldn't buy to resell online. They're too heavy, too cumbersome. A lot of people have some good stuff down here that they want to, you know, get top dollar for, and that's a route to do it.
Here
You know,
you're-
auction's the way to do it,
Yeah.
really.
Here's a guy that owns this company, and he's becoming a collector of collectibles from collectors.
And a broker.
And a broker. I
Yeah.
mean, it accumulates, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
I
It's
mean,
been a
come-
fun ride, you
yeah.
know? Yeah, for sure.
We've been in the shows, I think, done a great job. I mean,
Yes.
we're into
Ian knocks it out of the park producing it. He don't see much of
Ian's
him. He's
busy.
great.
We've
Yeah.
been at it a long time on the show, and we get a lot of input, different people. Scott, as we started the show, you and I were talking about some interesting things that you've seen in auctions and something in particular that I wasn't thinking of as collectible, but it
Oh,
is
yeah.
collectible.
I brought it in.
Something that you've got
I got to ship it out
that
today.
is a whole new dimension in collectibles.
Oh, yeah.
And
Well, this marble. This is
It's
a
a
handmade
marble.
1800s glass made in Germany. I'll hold it up to the camera. Now, this bad boy fetched $450 in an auction. And it's no bigger than a very large gumball.
Right.
You know, it's probably a 4-inch, they call it. Yeah, you just never know. You know, bring it in. I put it on the auction. You just never know. Somebody might like this swirl, or they can tell that it's a certain maker,
Sure.
or they can tell it's vintage. Marbles can be very, very collectible. Now, the bigger the better. A lot of people have those little pea shooters where they were nicked and knacked and you played the ones. These bigger ones didn't get much play because they're so big.
Yeah.
But just the craftsmanship and the colors on these are just,
Unbelievable.
they really are beautiful and highly collectible.
Right.
Now, people my generation and of the new generation, not so much, but I think people eventually get into it, and on the high-end retail level, there's always a market for the really good stuff.
Right.
people always can get turned on to collecting things.
Right.
You know, I've even been guilty of it, you know.
Sure.
It's like, oh, wow, look at those are really nice. I need the money to put it back in the business, so I have to sell it. But that's what people ask me, what do you collect? It's like, you know, sometimes I collect gaming tokens, but really, I don't really collect a whole lot. I collect it for a few weeks, and then it's time to move it on into the market.
Yeah.
You know.
You get the pleasure of enjoying
I
it for a
do.
while.
It's very lucky to be even own it for an hour or two
Yeah.
sometimes. And it's very cool to be able to transact and to buy it and to figure all that stuff out. But to actually collect, that's when you really become an expert in it and find all the nuances, and you're trying to make an extra buck or two, you know, for your long-term hold. As a
Yeah.
buyer, that's not what I'm really trying to do. You know,
Right.
I'm trying to buy fairly and sell it for a fair price where
Right.
it can sell relatively quickly. I don't want to hold on to things for 6 months.
You know, for those of you that are listening to this show, many of you have listened before, but those of you that are new and don't know this, Scott was showing a picture, showing you to a camera. He mentioned a camera, and he's showing this marble. If you want to go to YouTube,
Yeah. Oh,
you
yeah.
can look at YouTube, pull us up on YouTube, and watch this show. You
Puck
can actually see that marble.
Yep, Partial Coin and Collectibles Hour, it's called. Go watch it on there, yep. Give
Watch
it us a like, and
And look at the marble and say, hey, Scott, I've got 4
yeah,
of
that's
those.
what you'll be able to see. You'll be able to see the autographs. Anything we talk about on the radio show, we try to put it on the website. And I've been
Right.
moving back and forth with offices, so eventually we'll get to that. But that's, you know, be able to interact with our listening customers,
Right.
you know,
I mean,
the ones who are on the
yeah.
radio show. But now we're multifaceted.
Sure.
So we're doing YouTube. We can do a little show and tell, keeps the show moving, gives us examples of what we're looking for, gives another element to the show.
And if you're thinking about something you have that's sellable, visit that website, because there are pictures of things that Scott buys.
Oh, for sure.
And it's a good starting point. You can
Yep.
look at testimonials.
Yep.
You can see what you've done, who you've worked with,
Yep.
and they'll give you some good information. And you can see, well, this is the kind of things that he's looking for. And it's surprising. Every show we have, we talk about something new. The marbles are a facet of
And the
collecting. I
list
didn't
keeps
know
getting
about.
bigger and bigger. I got news for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because people bring in like tobacco items, petroleum items, signage. I mean, the list is getting bigger and bigger of items that
Right.
we buy.
And some people get very specific as to what they have or what they
For
collect.
sure. They get a very small niche.
Yeah.
Like the Zippo lighters individual.
Sure. And for a marble like this, for instance, you may have a buyer in California that says,
Yeah.
hey, I collect that size German marbles with these
Of
colors.
course, yes, of course.
And they are an expert at that.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it's funny, you have to be able to take off a hat, put on a hat, kind of being a little bit of an expert at
You have
everything.
to adjust quickly. You got to learn, be on your toes.
Yeah.
You have to be able to pick up and learn quickly, something I've been fortunate enough to be able to do. I've never been able to be like an expert in anything, but I've been a jack of all trades. I get to know enough of enough things to be able
know
to,
that
to
that's
manage.
valuable. I know that
to know-
marble's valuable.
And I know there's people out there who know a lot more than me about
Right.
almost every single item that I buy.
Sure.
Period.
Well, and that's the
But
connection
that's
you
okay.
have.
And,
Yeah.
You know, I don't think that person who knows that one item is going to be able to buy an array of 500,000 different things from customers.
And
They're going to
you-
be able to focus in on that one item.
You deal with in coinage, currencies,
Oh,
jewelry,
sports memorabilia,
sports memorabilia,
sterling,
musical instruments,
Lots of sterling silverware.
vintage toys.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
you've got a lot of antique
Yeah, we
items.
don't-
You got it going
yeah,
on.
we don't talk about antique toys very much, but those are big. A lot of board games come in, antique board games.
Yeah.
And now those are very time consuming when they come in, because I have to look each one up. We have to go through, see if the pieces are missing. So all these factors are what matters when something sells again.
Right.
Because we resell them. We're a recycling company for the most part. We're putting things back on the market.
Sure.
You know, we're trying to reuse them, recycle them, and
Find a
get some
new
money, find a
home.
new home for them. But, you know, if the game's missing half the pieces, and this is a Milton Bradley game from 1937 that I've never played before,
Right.
how am I going to know which piece? So I have to open the box, look for the pieces.
Right.
Because if a piece or two is missing, that set becomes maybe even worth less,
Right.
completely worthless.
Right.
You know, and I think a lot of the collectors know that. The high-end collectors know, well, no, I know I'm missing these two pieces. I'll try to fence it off to a couple people, right? I'm going to sell it. You know, it's a nice item.
Right.
It sells for $400 complete, but I'm missing 2 of the 100 pieces.
Yeah.
Maybe they won't even notice. So that's something I have to manage through too.
And
'Cause
besides
people,
pieces, if
you
they have a
know-
box, the things come in.
Oh, that too, yeah, for sure. But they'll have the box will have everything, but the 2 main pieces will be gone. But I don't know that. I'm thinking I'm buying the whole $400 item.
Right.
Little do I know, it's not that. So yeah, you really have to do your due diligence. But that's all right. You know, that's kind of part of it.
Yeah.
If you're going to be a buyer, you might as well
Yeah.
get better, do your research and learn what you're buying.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing. You got to know the product.
Right.
Just like in anything you do. If you're a realtor, if you're a builder, you better know the product. You better know the houses. You better know the different roofs.
Or you'll go through the pain of losing money.
Yeah.
And that's when you
Yeah,
learn.
for sure.
Pain makes
You'll
you
lose
learn.
the customers.
Right.
If you show up as a realtor and you know nothing about what a house is, you're not going to get hired.
No.
You got to know the product. You got to know the product you're showing.
So you really are the go-to guy here in Southwest Florida for
For sure.
collectibles.
I try to be, yeah.
And
Precious metals, coins, jewelry, real, it's jewelry for sure.
Sure.
We are very aggressive and pay very, very well on jewelry.
Right.
Yep.
And if you
Close
want
to retail, secondary retail prices.
if you want to talk to Scott about a large group of jewelry or small, nothing's too small, give him a call at 239-961-0816. That's 239-961-0816. Or visit that website like we
Yes.
talked about.
Parshorcoin.com. Or just
Parshorcoin.com.
pop on in and visit me on the Mocklin 75.
Sure.
We're open every day except Sundays.
And you're getting ready to move into another
yeah,
building.
new location. We
Bigger.
expanded, much bigger, 10 times bigger as a
Yeah.
matter of fact.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, and it's going to be a whole to-do.
Whole to do.
Yep.
And
Very customer friendly, lots of space. We'll have a lot of things going on. We'll be interactive with the customers. They can come in, maybe do some bits with the radio show. We'll be all set up over there
yeah.
to do the show as well. Sometimes, do some.
That would be nice.
Well, I want to keep people up to date. Do like a market report. Oh, here's what gold and silver closed today.
Well, so much of what you deal with has to do with current value.
Sure.
Yeah. What is silver spot price? What is the gold spot price?
Yeah.
You're dealing in
What's the-
coins,
yes.
jewelry.
What are the demand market? What's the
Right.
people? What's the sentiment of the people? Are people buying? Are people holding on to their pennies right now?
Sure.
That's the big thing. People are very wary right now on what to do with their money.
Right.
They don't know what's really going on. There's a lot of unknowns. So the price really has to be right.
Yeah.
That's not always the case.
Right.
During Corona, when they're handing out money, it's whoever had the product. They could name the price, especially in real estate. Name the price. You're getting it for the house.
Yes.
That's how things double in price.
Yeah.
That's how it happens.
Well, things have, use real estate as an example. Things have softened lately.
They have softened. They soften in all markets.
Softened. There's less demand.
Yeah.
The interest rates are up, so there are fewer people looking to buy. So
Comes down to money.
So the valuations change.
Yes.
The
for
same
sure.
way with jewelry, gold and coins,
Yeah.
silver. You have a day-to-day, week-to-week perspective. You have to look at it by, if I talked to someone yesterday on the phone and he has several silver coins,
Right.
and it might change by the time he gets in to see me.
100%.
He could take a week and before I see him and actually brings me the coins, and he may say, Scott,
Happens all the time.
this is $2 a coin less than what
For sure.
we talked about.
Exactly.
So, and you will make house calls.
House calls, yep.
This is something
I will
listeners
come to
be
you.
aware of.
Yep.
Yes.
I will come to you in the confines of your own home. You don't have to load up the stuff. You don't have to drive in. All you have to do is set the things on the table, and I will come through. I have all the equipment, and a lot of the stuff is in my head.
Right.
I know how to buy it.
Sure. Absolutely.
I can bring a scale. I bring my loop, and I bring just a few items, and I can really get through it all.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah.
You do entire estates.
Sure.
Entire estates. You've done work for law firms
Yeah.
when things have been
Settlements,
settled.
yeah.
Insurance.
Large
I mean,
ones, yeah.
Very much so. We'd like to talk during our show. We'd like to listen to what our listeners are saying and reaching out to us. A lot of times they'll text or email, and I'm going to just jump right into something here. Sean on Marco Island wants to know this, and you can explain it. He said, I listen to your show, great show, listen every Saturday. He wants to know if you will trade silver coins that he has inherited for gold coins. In other words, I guess what he's trying to say is, can I trade you silver for gold?
Yeah. Yeah.
Valuations.
We like to convert. Yeah.
Convert.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things that you will do too.
No,
Not
of
only buy, but if someone wants to
Yeah.
trade up.
That's a great way to do it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. There's a market out there. And so many people now are buying commodities in lieu of this bad inflation rate that they may have started with silver and say, you know what, I've got 100 silver coins, but I'd rather have 2 gold coins,
Yes,
take
yeah.
up a lot less space.
A lot less space.
Let's do it, Scott.
For sure.
So they ask you to help them.
And a lot of people, if you're moving around and you move and you don't want to carry that around, having 100 coins is a lot. To have 1 or 2 things, you can carry it in your pocket. If you live in a place that's not so secure, you don't want to leave 100 ounces of whatever laying around. you can carry one or two in your pocket.
Right.
You have all your money you need right there.
Right.
And at the flick of an instant, you can always, bring it into me and I'll buy it, and you'll be able to cash it out. So that's why a lot of people love gold so much, is because they can do that.
Right. Good.
Okay.
Well, here's another one. Stephanie B. in Bonita Springs. That's funny. Stephanie B. in Bonita Springs asks, can I bring you a coin collection for evaluation? I'm pressed for time. How long will it take? But I guess that really varies on the number
depends
of
on how many
coins.
coins you have. Yeah, but believe it or not, I can rifle them through pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of them I've seen before. A lot of them are just because of silver content.
Yeah.
So sometimes minutes. Some people are very, very surprised to see how quickly we can get through it.
Right.
Now, the older ones, sometimes you got to go through them individually.
Sure.
But if you just have quarters, dimes, half dollars from the 1900s.
Right.
We
You know what the silver content
Yeah, we
is.
can get that through that. We just got to count them
Yeah.
a lot of times.
Yeah.
I go through them to make sure you don't have a rare date.
Yeah.
But that's pretty simple.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's that's an excellent response, and you're available. You're off of Immokalee Road in
Yeah,
North
just,
Naples.
for sure. It depends on how big your collection is.
Sure.
But I mean, not long at all.
Yeah.
Can rifle through those.
Sure. And if you've got some questions, reach out to Scott. You can text him. He's
Yes.
text friendly.
For sure.
Or visit his website, parkshorecoin.com.
Yep. There's never been an excuse you couldn't get a hold of me. We just never heard of.
You are always Johnny on the spot. You're always ready to help.
Try to be, yeah.
And you can turn those collectibles into cash.
Cash on the spot.
That's the big thing.
Yep.
It's easy to call, text, or email. He can
You
buy you right on the spot. You'll pay for things right on the
For
spot.
sure. Yeah, I have a lot of estate buyers. People go around to garage sales. They go around and buy something. They come sell it to me.
Sure.
Yeah.
You're a good dispersal on that
For
stuff.
sure. Business to business. Yeah.
Business to business.
Yeah.
That's excellent. Okay, here's another one. Okay, this is I'm looking like it says Judy, but I can't. Maybe Jody from Estero. I have jewelry that I think is gold, but it's not marked.
Ooh.
Some pictures, some pieces have numbers, and some are worn.
Oh yeah, that's normal. Numbers are marked, so if they are numbered, that a lot of times that probably means it's gold. You
Right.
probably just can't make out what the numbers are,
Right.
but sometimes they're not. So I guess it depends on which number it is.
Right. Now, you'll test it. You've got all the testing
Yeah,
equipment.
bring it in. We'll test it. I'll let you know if it's real quickly. That's why I just tell bring it on in.
Right.
9:30 to 4:30. We're open every single day. Saturdays 11 to 3.
Right.
No appointment necessary.
Yeah.
Just come on in, pop on over, and we will look through it. Free evaluations. No obligation to sell. There's zero pressure. We do enough business where I'm happy to just kind of evaluate your stuff at this point. I've always been like that.
Yeah.
But whether you sell or not, it's not going to change my day. I want you to know what you have, and then when you are ready, if you are ready to sell, or if you want to buy down the line, come to Park Shore Coin. I just want to build that relationship with the customer.
I'll tell you what, looking at your website, I look at the testimonials, and I actually read the testimonials, and it's
yeah.
amazing.
It is nice.
Yeah.
They're all real. Not one of those are bought and paid for.
It makes you feel good.
They're all customers.
Yeah. And I could guarantee you practically anything that you're trying to sell, someone else has sold to Scott, and they'll give you a good
And here's
good
the
feedback.
irony of it. The feedbacks, especially on Google, when you write out a paragraph, they never show up. So the ones that show up are usually just like 3 or 4 words.
Right.
So I've had about 3 or 4 people who they go out of their way and say, Scott, I left your review, here it is, and it never populates.
Right.
And they even send me the screenshot, here's what they said, and Google never put it through because they have an algorithm where if it's too many words or too wordy, they just automatically zip through it and don't post it because they don't know if it's just going to be derogatory
Right.
or not necessary for the business.
Right.
So keep it simple, but it is amazing when the good ones, a lot of the point being, a lot of the good ones never got through.
Yeah.
The ones who really take out and write a paragraph or two and
Just
say, wow,
too
it's really
long.
cool. Yeah, it never got through. But luckily some did get through, and there are some customers up there who are very happy with what,
Well-
their experience at Park Shore Coin and how we handle it and how we respect our customers and their time and their items.
Right.
You know.
And nothing's too big or too small.
No.
You do entire estates.
For sure. And if it's way too big, we have the auction house. We'll be able to do it that way.
Yeah.
But nothing's come in too big yet. We're able to figure out a way to get it done,
Right.
But there's no doubt there's some items in Naples, Florida, that I will never in a million years be able to buy.
Sure.
So I'll have to broker it, and we'll have to find the buyer for that seller.
Yeah.
Be happy to do that.
Yeah.
There's coins that are in the $500,000, $1 million range. And, I have no interest in taking that on.
Yeah. That's
It's too much risk, even if I had the money.
You run
In
into
one item,
risk.
but people have those items down here,
Yeah.
for sure.
Well, here's something else. This is Jill in Naples, and she says, thanks for responding. I'm thinking about selling a diamond ring from my first marriage. What's the process?
Oh, wonderful. I'll bring it on in as the first process. When you do that, get all the paperwork together that you might have. It all helps. It helps save time. And then after you bring it in, I'll put it through the jewelry cleaner so we can get a really good look at it. Because diamonds can be very dirty, and that's the clarity is very important for a diamond. But if it's dirty, that's not clarity. So we got to make sure that's all cleaned off, and we can get a really good look at the color, and I make a bid.
Okay. Okay.
And hopefully
And
you sell it.
and you'll tell customers, go get a couple of bids.
Yeah, for sure. Usually they already have. I just assume they already have.
Okay.
Every customer that walks in the door, I assume they know what they have and that they've already had a bid on it.
Okay. Okay.
I don't want to assume that they have no idea what they have,
Right.
and I can just offer whatever I want.
I would imagine you hear stories from people saying, I took this to a jeweler or whatever. They didn't want to give me anything for it.
Very
Scott,
common.
it's worth more than just a few dollars.
But a lot of times the jewelers don't want to hold the inventory.
Right.
If their object is to have it sit in a case and resell it,
Right.
they only want product that's going to sell within weeks or days.
Right.
They don't want things that are going to sit weeks or months.
Right.
And so then they just have to pass on it, especially on jewelry, because we can't lowball an item. It makes it too confusing. We don't want to make people mad. So we're better off just saying it's not for us.
Yes.
That's a good way of doing it.
Good way of doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now we did almost a whole show back in February on Rolex watches.
Oh, yeah.
Watches are a big deal. We talk about jewelry as in diamonds, gold and silver jewelry.
Yeah.
And that's a big part of your business.
Yes.
But watches, they're
Very.
collectible watches.
They're investment pieces.
Investment
So
pieces.
some people have stocks, some people have this, that, and a lot of people have a watch collection that appreciates over time. And they have outperformed many markets, especially some of the high-end retail, Rolex and Patek Philippe's.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, and those big manufacturers, they're very expensive. They
Omega.
closed down during COVID.
Yep, yep.
And so they weren't making a lot of
They
watches.
weren't. It really threw a wrench in the supply chain.
Yeah.
And,
But
there's
so
a
that
whole lot of things.
So that makes it pretty
And then there's a lot of those people who are buying those watches, the high-end businessmen and people with money, they all were flush with cash because all the PPE money was coming in SBA loans.
Yeah.
So they were trying to throw their money at it and buy, and it just skyrocketed the prices.
That's amazing.
That's what happened. That's what inflation is.
Yeah.
When you throw money into a market,
Too few items being chased by too many
too
people.
much money.
That's amazing.
Sure, yeah.
Well, your business is a great way to hedge against inflation because people can buy, not only sell to you,
Yes.
they can sell the gold, the silver, the jewelry. They can buy,
buy
the
all
gold, the
that.
silver, and the jewelry too.
Yeah, yeah.
So here's a good way to buy coins and jewelry and put it away because it is a good hedge against inflation. And you've told people that have called into the
And you
show
can enjoy
before,
them too, though.
Yeah.
That's always nice. Jewelry you can wear,
it's a wearable asset.
for sure.
If you
Coins
bought it
can-
right, it makes you feel good too.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, and something about using gold, for instance. There's the warmth of gold. It's always been a part of our world, and people wear it.
For sure.
They wear it. It's
Gold
it's
goes
an
back
asset.
a lot further than I think anyone realizes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And it's much more important, I think, on a lot of, it's a very rare item.
Very rare.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to continue with this discussion about listeners that have reached out. Here's one, Debbie and Benita, another Benita. That's two today. Is talking about watches. Okay, I inherited my father's World War II memorabilia, souvenirs from overseas, medals. Can you take a look at them? I don't know their value. I have a feeling because he fought in Europe that they have some value.
Those can have value, yeah.
Yeah.
Those are a lot of times we'll have to do some research on them. A lot of times that's an eBay item or, Naples auction house coming up here in a month or two, but they can be very collectible. But those are another thing where everyone got one a lot of times too.
Yeah.
And a lot of times there's, name insignias in them, so they're personalized, so that makes it a little bit more difficult to sell in a secondary market.
Yeah. And you've said that about
Personalized items are very difficult to sell
Right.
on a secondary market. And that happens with the sterling silverware too. People bring it in and they have like a very nice complete set, but it has their initials on it. It's like, well, I'm not going to be able to find someone who's going to buy it. It's tough to sell that type of thing nowadays anyway, because people just don't formal dine in that much anymore.
Right.
So you're really getting paid out because it's precious metals value, not because it's a sterling silverware, because it's a plate set. You're getting paid because it's silver, So that the holograms can ruin that too. There's zero usability if you can't resell it if it has somebody's initials on it.
Right.
All it can do is go to the melter,
Yeah.
and then get turned into a repurposed item.
So you end up really buying by weight.
You got to buy it by either way. You got to buy it by weight. So when people call, they get so confused and they say, "Well, do you buy scrap price?" And they're kind of saying, "Hey, I don't want to get paid scrap value," but it's just another way of saying, "Hey, we pay based on what the spot price is at the time. We don't necessarily scrap it per se, on your jewelry." So people, they don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that you're paying by scrap value, but that's how jewelry is traded.
Right.
Precious metals are traded by the scrap price. Scrap price is the same as spot price. That's what it is. I mean, that's the same when you say scrap.
Right.
That means you're getting paid out what the gold and silver is worth at that time.
Now, Scott, is that the same as when you're like coins, you talk about junk silver?
Yeah, same thing.
Same thing.
Yep.
Pre-1964.
Except that doesn't get melted. That can be resold and
Sure.
is good to go no matter what.
Yeah.
That doesn't have to get repurposed.
So a lot of people will buy gold coin, or old coins, old silver coins for the intrinsic value, like the Morgans. Morgans are very hot.
Yeah, very popular right now.
Yeah. People want them, and not all Morgans are the same.
No, they're all different by the year. And remember, those are only 2/3 of an ounce of silver.
Yeah.
They're not a full ounce.
Right.
So
when people come to you, they think that they're bringing you a silver
they
coin.
think they're bringing the silver eagle, which is a full silver ounce.
Right.
And they typically sell for what an entire ounce of silver sells for. But if you bring in a totally beat up silver Morgan dollar, you got $15, $16 worth of silver there.
Right.
That's what it's going to be worth in very poor condition.
Right.
In very good condition, it could be worth 50 or 60. So like when people call in, what's my coin worth? It's better to take a picture and text me. Text Park Shore Coin at any time, 239-961-0816 with the information. And if I can see it, I can give you a much better idea of which coin you have. Because if you just call me and say, "Hey, I have an 1891 Morgan silver dollar, what will you pay me for it?" Well, maybe I'll pay you 22, and maybe I'll pay you 70.
Yeah.
And maybe I'll pay you 15 if it's really beat up.
Right. And it also
You know what
depends
I
on the
mean?
mint mark, too.
But I don't want to take the call and say, "Hey, I'll pay you 15 for it," because that's usually not the case. But there's
Right.
$15 worth of silver. You bring it to one of those road shows or those hotel buyers, you're getting $10 to $15 all day.
Right.
That's what they sell. That's what they buy them for.
Yeah. Well, and you don't need to do a roadshow if you got a guy
But
right
they're
here
very
in Southwest
popular.
Florida.
Yeah, no, you don't have to do it at all. But that just gives you an idea of what a market. That's not even a terrible offer. That's fair market price.
Yeah. And listeners, when we're talking about roadshows, we're talking about these groups that come in and they plant themselves at a hotel.
Yeah.
And you see an ad in the paper.
Buying.
Buying. Bring us your silver, gold, collectibles, memorabilia. Bring it to us and we'll buy it on the spot. Well, they're not going to give you its worth. Chances are.
No. They won't ever see you again.
That's right. So they're here and gone.
They are here and gone. They're making their offer. You're going to take it or leave it.
Right.
With me, you're going to get a good offer. And if you don't like it, you can go shop it around.
Exactly.
Then you can rub it in my face after if I'm no good.
And
There's a level of accountability. Know where to find me. Them, you have no idea where to find them. You have no idea where to leave a bad review.
Yeah.
And with me, you know exactly where to find them. That's why you can't find them. The only negative review I've ever gotten is somebody complained that there wasn't a retail desk. I mean, it's just something that's not even in my business model.
Yeah.
Somebody was literally looking to leave a negative review to get me from a 5.0 to a 4.9, which is fine. But you can't do that to the road buyers.
Sure. So if you get irritated with Scott,
no,
call
yeah,
the
leave me
show.
a 1.
You know
Yeah,
he's in the
exactly.
Strand Business Park off of Immokalee Road.
Exactly. Come find me. No, that's true though. You can say, "Hey, you don't pay what you should be paying."
Yeah.
And people will see that. You don't see that on my reviews.
No.
That's not the case.
'Cause you pay
Believe
top
me, if I
dollar.
didn't, they'll be on there.
Sure.
A lot of these other ones, they'll have a few people, they take shots at them and try to buy it for pennies on the dollar.
Right.
And they end up getting a new review for it. That's why I take the stance, They walk in, whether or not they know what they have, I'm going to explain to them what they have, but I assume that they know exactly what they have and that they've had a bid already.
Yeah.
So then I can bid it a little bit better.
When most people come in to say something,
That's how you get the
Scott,
business.
do they usually have a kind of a rough idea of what
For
they,
sure,
what they-
yeah.
what
Everyone
something's
has a
worth?
computer.
Yeah.
Everyone has a phone, so they're able to at least get some sense that it has some value.
Right.
And usually it's inflated.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not. Sometimes they say, I don't think I have anything. I don't think these, that happened the other day. She said, I don't think this jewelry is real. I mean, it came to like $1,800.
Yeah. That was
It's
a
like,
nice
you
surprise.
literally thought it was all junk.
And that happens once in a while, but for the most part, it's sort of like, we like to use the real estate analogy almost every show.
That's a good one.
Somebody looks at I own my house. Here's what I think it's worth because I did this, this, and this to it, and I love my house. But a real buyer says, no.
Your neighbor sold for
no.
30% less.
Yeah.
And they did this, this, and this to it too.
And so like you said, even if whether it's a house or some jewelry,
Right.
you probably have an inflated idea.
Yeah.
But
Sentimental value.
sentiment, and sentiment.
It throws your judgment off.
It throws your
when
judgment
it comes to dough.
Well, this was my grandmother's.
Oh, that
It's
too.
got to be worth more than anybody else's.
Provenance, yeah.
It's like, and you know what? It's interesting. You deal with people like that all the time, and you understand that.
Yeah.
And you try to tell them.
It's part of the game. It's part of the business.
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
You try to understand and say, look, we've got to remove the sentimental value.
Well, that's why they don't have 20 doing what I do out there.
That's right.
You know, like there are restaurants or like there are realtors.
Yeah.
There would be hundreds and hundreds of people who do what I do
Right.
if it was something that you could just learn how to pick up and deal with people. Dealing with people is not easy, especially when it comes to dealing with their collectibles and their valuables, who they hold in high regard and they want the most for it.
Yeah.
They don't want to see me getting a good deal. Not as much as I want to see them getting a good deal.
You know
That's
what? It's true.
that's the problem.
I think,
My goal is for both sides to be happy. Their goal is for them to be happy.
and that's probably why you have so many people that do come back to you.
Yeah, they
time-
enjoy that.
time after
For
time.
sure. For some people, it's
For
refreshing.
some people, yeah. They know you and they trust you. And
Yeah.
I tell you what, Scott, I've heard more good comments about the way you do business.
Thank
and
you,
if,
yeah.
and if everybody did business that way, there'd be more Scott
It'd be a
Heiligmans
lot
in the
easier,
world.
For sure.
But thank goodness there's one.
There's at least one
And it's
down
the only
here.
one you need to know.
That's all we need down here.
And if you want to reach out to this guy, he's a rare bird.
Yep.
239-961-0816. Ian's in the control booth. He's saying, you got to take a break. You guys have been rambling on too
We got a
long.
business to run here.
Yeah, we got a business to run. So we're going to take a break. If you'll stay with us, we're going to talk more about collectibles and more about what Scott can do for you.